Yes. Esto va a ser en inglés.
Perdón.
Bienvenidos a otro capítulo de MTV CARPOOL. Ahorita estoy con Matt, él es de Canadá, está viajando por todo el país. Te va a ser muy corto este video, acabamos de salir de los 500. Y sí que de aquí, si ustedes no tienen inglés, no se preocupen, lo ven acá en los subtítulos. For watching, subscribe, like. I should say that in the first part. Maybe I'll cut this part. I don't know. So I just presented that you're Matt, you're from Canada, and this is going to be an English video, a really short one, and saying that you're going all around the country. But first of all, Matt, who are you, where are you from, how old are you, and what do you do for a living?
My name is Matt Yaki, and I'm from Canada, more specifically from Revelstoke, British Columbia. I'm 40 years old, the big 40, and same like you, huh? We're getting old. And for a job, I get to ride my bike. Thankfully, I own and operate like a mountain bike guiding and coaching company based in Revelstoke, where I'm from, but also operating some trips around the world, mostly in Nepal and the Himalayas.
Nepal and
Yeah.
Himalayas. So, well, we'll talk about Nepal later on.
Sure.
But Ecuador, how long you been here? From when did you arrive?
I arrived at the beginning of October, so it's been a little bit more than 2 months, almost 2.5 months now.
And where you been already?
Oh, it seems like everywhere. It seems like all over. I don't know. I was lots of time around Quito, Cotopaxi volcano, a couple weeks in Cuenca. I did lots of time in Bolivar, Mamarumi, and Chimborazo. I did the Uzkurumi race. I did Cotopaxi bike park race. Last week I went up north a little bit to Otavalo and Ibarra. There's probably a few other spots. Sigchos, I went to Sigchos and rode the last Inca. It was amazing.
Yo, so it's been like
All
2.5 months of traveling all over, and we were just talking before starting the camera that the biodiversity of going from one day from the volcanoes to the other day over to
In
this
the tropics.
place, the tropics, and doing the 500. How was the 500?
The 500?
The one that we
The
just
500s.
did. The 500.
Los 500s. They were amazing. Very, very tropical kind of vibe and feel to it, but good dirt. It rained a little bit yesterday, so that was good.
You had a great day because yesterday it just kind of rained a bit and it started like compacting the soil, and it was a really, really great ride. But in all the places you've been, which one would be, let's say, in a different techniques, like the more hardcore, is really tough line you have done?
I think the most challenging riding that I've done here so far was the Mamarumi race, but only because of the conditions.
Okay, it was
Like the
really
trail,
muddy.
yeah, the trail
really-
itself is like, it wouldn't have been that challenging compared to what I'm used to back in Canada, but the entire top half was really muddy, so it was just a slip and slide, and a bit steep in spots, and then when you're trying to race and go fast, it was like, it was quite challenging for sure. But I think also Uzkurumi trails were, some of the trails were like fast flow, really awesome shredding, but other trails were just like trying to survive, It
was just too hard, and the 2-day ride, and the first prime of the second.
I'd like to go. I'd love to go back to Uzkurumi and do some riding, not racing.
Okay,
Because
so
I'm sure it's a lot different.
that will
now.
be the hardcore. How about just like really flowy and just like,
yeah.
whoa, we're gonna have a blast and some I can't say weed, but some like traveling.
Yeah.
Where?
I think the best like flow trails that I've seen here have been at the 2 bike parks close to Quito, being Santa Rita and Cotopaxi Bike Park. I rode Cotopaxi Bike Park, I think 3 days, including 1 day racing, and Santa Rita only 1 day, but the trails at both of those spots were just amazing, like proper like purpose-built mountain bike trails, flow berms, jumps. They were awesome.
I did.
Today was pretty close to that too, actually.
Well, we'll talk about Los 500, but okay. So real flow Cotopaxi. I've been Cotopaxi just half a day. I've been in Santa Rita for a race. It was a really good one. I couldn't enjoy the parts. I need to go there and make like a full place or a full video about the place because it's really good. Okay. So,
yeah, man, Santa Rita was unreal. I rode there with Chacho, who's the
Chacho
trail
Lopez.
builder, and it was an amazing day. We pounded out 7 laps in a day, which is way more than most people do. I
It's
think.
a lot.
It was so fun. It was awesome. Really good trails.
Right. Okay, so there will be flowy, there will be the hardcore. What about technique? Which one that like make you say whoa?
Oh man, I don't know. I think kind of same as the technical question, you know, like Uzkurumi and Mama Rumi were pretty
Okay.
technical. There's a lot going on there for sure.
And then mix it up like so much flow, so much technical.
Oh, I think Cotopaxi, like the volcano,
Okay.
the lines down, the free ride lines and Holy Ridge on Cotopaxi are some of the best riding I've done anywhere
Okay.
in the world. Amazing. Hileros on Chimborazo was pretty similar. It was more of like a single track, but it was really good. I also rode, you know what I did one day? I went to the summit of Wawa Pichincha
Okay.
with a couple friends, with Vasco and Pato and Rufo from Wawa Bike Park.
I
I don't know
think
if you know
I
him.
think-
That guy's a
I
legend. We drove most of the way up, but then we hiked up a few hundred meters, up to like 4,700 meters to the summit of Wawa Pichincha, looked down into the crater of the volcano, and then
Yeah.
rode down the other side like this huge descent, like 2,000 meter descent back into this little town south of, I don't even know where I
and
was.
That
south
was
of
the
Quito.
top of the top.
Yeah, like summit of the volcano.
Okay.
And the ride down was like,
No, but could you say that was the top of the riding here in Ecuador, at least for now?
no, not the top of the riding by any means, but as far as like
The diversity of the ride.
experiences go and the
Experience.
diversity of everything, yeah, like it was pretty special. I've never summited a volcano before. You know, I've summited plenty of mountains in my day, but never a volcano. And like, it's also like it's pretty high, right? Like 4,700 meter summit, and hiking up at that altitude, not acclimatized. Like I've ridden and hiked higher than that in the Himalayas, but I'm acclimatized, right? Because I take my time and go up. And here you just freaking drive up to 4,500 meters or something like that, and then hike up. So it was just
it
like
was challenging?
It was challenging. It was a short hike, but it was challenging because I wasn't acclimatized, and just to get on top of the volcano, like to actually summit a volcano, and like the people that I was with, and we had this little moment at the top where we were kind of like silent. I forget what Pato called it. He taught me all about it.
Yeah.
But it was special, man. It was really
Like
it
a
was
different
really nice.
experience
Yeah.
because it's not just going, hey, let's go up with you, wee, and you
Yeah,
go down.
yeah. Oh,
so
exactly.
you go like, let's just breathe, let's just
That's
admire or
exactly
something
what
like
it
that.
was, Yeah.
Yeah, it's like living the right moment where you're going down on your sport and your adrenaline, but really seeing what's around you and the nature and stuff, maybe like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the thing I love about mountain biking personally, and that's what I'm trying to do with Bike Trip BC and maybe sometime other country, is that showing that we have a lot of places when you can see beautiful stages of life or nature and stuff like that. So in other countries you've been reading, because you've been reading all around, excuse me, doo-doo-doo. Yeah.
Guayaquil.
Yeah. So in all the places you've been, in the diversity of Ecuador, how can you put it on a list or something? Like how are we going on challenging mountain bikers addict of adventure kind of target?
Yeah, that's a pretty loaded question, but I think I know what you mean. I don't know, for me, like, Ecuador is so cool because there's a lot of riding that's very diverse, and it's kind of like the riding zones are like kind of far away from each other, but they're really not that far away, because like we said earlier, like just yesterday I was in Quito at 2,800 meters and surrounded by volcanoes, and now I'm in Guayaquil on the coast, and I've already done a ride in between, and like you can get
Guayaquil.
Guayaquil.
Así
You
pasa
can
en
get
toda
like
Chile.
the country is small, right? Like it's very small. This country is probably like 1/4 of the size of just the Canadian province where I live, right? So like, yeah, within one day of traveling, you can be in a totally different zone, riding totally different styles of trails, and I really love that. So like,
And you didn't know about this.
well, not really. Like I knew a bit about it, but
Chucha, tenemos que exportar más el puto país de Ecuador para toda la gente que pueda venir a disfrutar aquí Ecuador y todas las líneas.
I don't know what you just said, but I think you're giving me shit.
Yeah, not to you, but the person that we need to explode more what Ecuador has.
You do need to explode more what Ecuador has, because a lot of people don't know it, right? Like I work in the mountain bike tourism industry, and Ecuador is not on the top of people's minds when they think about a mountain bike trip. But I think there's a lot of potential for that to grow and for there to be more of that, right? Like there are people and companies that are coming here, but there's only a few, right? And I think the more that you guys as a country can promote not only the mountain biking and the mountain bike trails, but the culture and the biodiversity of this country, the more that it'll become kind of on people's radars, you know? And people want to travel, especially after the pandemic, like now that it's kind of settling down, hopefully. People want to get out and travel and experience the world. I think the pandemic had like taught a lot of people, or kind of left an impression with a lot of people that like, you know, that life is short and they need to make the most of it.
And you need
they
to
can't
live,
pass up
you
these
need to live,
experiences. They need to live.
And you need to
live.
get more to nature.
For sure, 100%. So I think there's some potential, you know, in the next 5 years, like if you guys can continue to grow and push mountain biking and tourism in general here in Ecuador, I think it will be, like I said, on people's radars a little bit more, and you'll get more people coming here. You know, I know I'm certainly going to be promoting Ecuador and maybe even running a trip here in Ecuador with some of the local friends that I've met here through my business in the future. And even besides that, like I'll just be, you know, telling all my friends and all the people in the mountain bike industry that I know, you know, how awesome this trip was, and hopefully it'll put it on their radar and they'll come here.
Okay, thanks, Matt, for that, because yeah, we got a lot of potential on like tourism, the whole thing. But mountain biking is growing so fast around the world, and here in Ecuador especially, it just pushed up a lot of the pandemic stuff. And that's the thing, that the people that can come and make an experience of this place, and just being on the mountains, being on the snow, being on the tropical, being on the beach.
Yeah,
just
literally from one day to the next, you're snow to the beach.
So, and maybe someday, somebody will make a trail that you go like one spot, you sleep, the other spot, you sleep, the other spot, you sleep.
That'd be all right.
And no, you can do it really.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
You could.
Maybe someday we'll mark it out. And that's the transit lady, and we have some. Okay, nobody saw that.
No.
That will be it, I think. Anything you want to say to the people that watching this video?
I guess just thanks for, you know, having me here. It's been such an unreal time. Like I came here on my own, and literally within 2 days of being here, I was going on a road trip, camping overnight with like a big group of people. And then that same group of people grew, and I met people in the riding community at races and different events, and it's just been unreal. Like all the locals have been so kind to me and helped me out with rides, like car rides to get to the bike rides, and you know, crashing on their floors and all that kind of stuff. Everybody's been so welcoming, and it's been so great. So that's, you know, without all you people, yourself included, like my experience here in Ecuador would not have been even close to as amazing as it was.
So that's the thing I would like to point out. That's what I like about this community, and that's how this how you say it here, attitude
MTB.
like this attitude of a mountain biker, that you're just friends everywhere you are, and they can crash and they can pull you up and they can help you up, and all that kind of different experience. It's something I haven't done in any sport I practice. I've been swimming, I've been on skating, I've been rolling, I've been, well, a lot of things.
Yeah.
But mountain biking is just another level of partnership.
Yeah, it really is.
and maybe you've been riding all over the world. What other places or other countries you've been riding?
Quite a lot around BC in Canada, where I'm from. Like BC is a big province and lots of really good riding there. I've ridden in America, like mostly in the desert, Utah, kind of Moab area. A lot of people have heard of in Colorado. And then I've ridden quite a lot in Nepal and the Himalayas. A couple times in Tibet, which is really cool. Really kind of backcountry in Tibet, like it's like stepping back in time by a century. I've also ridden in Tasmania, Australia for a few weeks, and I've spent quite a bit of time, a couple months in New Zealand. And now here I am in Ecuador for 3 months. After this, I'm going to be going to Costa Rica, and then after Costa Rica, I might be coming back to South America, maybe going to Peru. Also up in the Yukon in Canada. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's like far north of Canada.
No.
It's crazy, awesome riding up there in the winter time. It's like dark all day long.
Okay.
But in the summertime, when you go riding, it's the opposite. It's light all day long.
Like so you can ride at 9 p.m.
You can ride at midnight. Like you can ride all day long, have dinner, have a few beers, start to feel good. go for a second ride at midnight. Literally, it's amazing. The sun will kind of like crest the horizon in the summertime. The sun will kind of crest the horizon for like a few hours, and it'll like get a little bit dimmer, but it doesn't get dark. Like it's 24 hours of sunlight.
And you can like have 2-3 days of just non-stop riding.
Yeah. I go up there, I run some trips up there, and it's a week-long trip, 6 full days of riding, and it's like, it's not even long enough. There's so much good riding up there. But yeah, I don't know, that's about it. I'm probably forgetting a couple spots, but that's about it for now. I've never ridden in Europe, and I've never ridden in Africa.
And that
one day.
I did this question the last time because I wanted to show that a person just from foreign, how his experience here, and not just any rider, just his business is for making these tours and these trips, and he's been riding all over, riding all over the world. So we have a lot of potential, guys, and we need really to make everything you post, everything you put on the online, it will help somebody to pack it up and show it to the world and show it like, let's go over there. And that will explode our tourism, our communities, and all these kind of trips. It really works for the small communities because they are having like a full lot of money one day because we're traveling over there, because we're buying beer, buying like a tuna or chips or anything like that. It just sums up. It really sums up.
Yeah, it's crazy what I've seen, like that, like small little town of Telembela at the bottom of Montgomery.
Nobody is never there.
Changuil the other weekend at Papa's Bananas, like nobody's ever there, and then all of a sudden you've got 100 mountain bikers there. And you know, everybody's buying 5-6 beers, a bunch of food, you know, all kind of, like it's a lot of cash influx to this town, right? So, you know, when you do these mountain bike trips, and I was just on a trip last week with Basco and Tony from Two Wheel Epics, and like just to see them operate in these different towns and the relationships that they formed with some of the locals in these small little towns is like, it's really awesome to see, like not only the money that's going in, but just like the attitude and like the friendship. Like it's heartwarming to see it. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's the thing. And so we gotta stop thinking about all the big cities. So we got a lot exposed. And okay, so Matt, that will be it. Thanks for the ride. Thanks for the video.
Thank you for the ride. Those 500s.
Yeah, 500 was great. Oh, so let's finish that.
That's not the end of the video.
Okay, so yeah, I'm always like, we're mountain bikers, so we like to talk about mountain biking. We love to buy about bikes and stuff like that. So, and when you're just like stopping on the thing, but no, there's another topic to it. So 500s, and definitely they will be the last thing. 500s. What do you like about it?
There was a lot more features than I thought there was going to be. Like most of the trails that I've ridden here in Ecuador have been pretty natural, like outside of the bike parks anyways. But these trails were like loaded with wooden features, wall rides, jumps, some small little gaps, which I like, couple of big giant step-up gap features, which I maybe don't like that much, but it looks cool. But yeah, just like really diverse trails in such a small zone. And another thing that I really liked, again, is the mountain bike community. Like, we met those young guys there, and I did a lap with them after you flatted out, sorry. And it was like, they're just so nice and so welcoming, so happy to see a gringo like me riding bikes, and that's what really made my day.
And you see, these trails, I don't know about Canada, but these trails are just like private,
Like
kind of
area?
private, like, how do you say it in English? Son contribuciones, like, how do you say it in English? Wait. It was like non-profit.
Yeah,
non-profit.
Yeah.
So just a bunch of riders, and it should be the whole community.
Yeah.
Should put some money, because there are a lot of persons. Well, not a lot of persons. There are a really small group that is working on these trails, like the 500s, like the Sport Bike here in Guayaquil, and a lot of places you've been in Ecuador are just owned, supported by the local riders, and a bit, just like Mauricio Gaibor, like El Divino, con René, and Tony. They're working on having a bit of that with the community.
Yeah.
But here in the cities, we need to put on my own money. So because you're having a great time, last time, contribute on the project, because you're having a great time on it. Yeah. And don't think it's just free.
No, nothing comes free.
Nothing comes free, and
somebody's putting in a lot of hard work.
Indeed, those 500s are a lot.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. These trails were like, it seems like anyways, that they were purpose built for mountain bikes, right? Mm-hmm. And again, outside of the bike parks at like Santa Rita and Cotopaxi, and
well, you got a ticket over there. Here and other projects, they're just too small, and they're just starting. So we need to push that money over there. Yeah. Like, we're paying $10 to go to Cotopaxi Bike Park. Yeah. Okay, pay $5 every time you go to Los 500 or Espol or anywhere. Or
you can think about like forming. So you said the word earlier, nonprofit. Like back home in Canada, that's how we operate, right? Like every town has amazing riding, and every town has a non-profit association or society, like a club, right? We call it a bike club. So in Revelstoke, like, I've been involved with the Revelstoke Cycling Association for years, and we sell memberships and we accept donations, and we have a website, and we like market, you know, the fact that we build trails and that we're all volunteers, etc., right? So like, we don't charge people $5 per day kind of thing, but we ask, and it's not even mandatory, but we really ask and we like push for people to buy a membership, right? And then the more members that we have as a club, the stronger like representation that we have. So if we go to the city and say we want to build more trails, or we want to do this, or we want to do that, we can say, look, we represent, you know, 700 riders, and that's in my very small community, right? Like here in a big city like Guayaquil, like you could get 1,000 members, you know. Like, how many people do you think ride those trails?
A lot, from all the rides here in Ecuador, in Guayaquil.
We saw 30 people up there just today, you know.
Yeah, but the thing is that hopefully, I don't know how to do it personally. I can't get into that, but hopefully the trail builders, they work on it and they just unite themselves, and they just don't like, I do my spot, I do my spot, I do my spot. Around Ecuador, there are a lot of communities that making it, but there's the last time I was talking with someone here in CARPOOL, they told me that there are a lot of people doing stuff, but there's no really person that says, okay, let's all get together and work it. But hopefully someone is coming, someone is buying this video, is seeing this video and saying, okay, let's do it. Because that will profit everyone else.
For sure. And even just like in one zone, right? Like it would be something else to like unite all the trail builders around the whole country. But like, if you have one zone or one area, especially one community or one city where there's a bunch of different builders doing their own thing, like if you can get those builders together and kind of unite, then you have like a stronger representation, right?
Well, hopefully coming soon,
one day.
And that's it, really, that's it. Matt, thank you very much. Have a good trail, and everybody, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, I should say that in the first part. Maybe I'll cut this part and put it in the first.
I thought you were a pro.
No, I'm not. I just like to talk. I just like to show, and maybe sometime I'll be a really huge big YouTuber. Bye.